Everyone, all across America, House Democrats and Senate Democrats are holding a Save Social Security Day of Action. Why? Social Security here in New York City and across the country faces an unprecedented assault, the likes of which have not been seen since 2005, when former President George W. Bush tried to privatize it. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and House Republicans think that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Social Security is not a Ponzi scheme. It is an earned benefit. Hard-working New Yorkers pay into Social Security and have done so throughout their entire working life. They've earned their Social Security benefits, worked hard for their Social Security benefits, and deserve their Social Security benefits.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Right View Nation, where we don't just parrot the mainstream narrative, we challenge it. We stand for faith, family, freedom, and fiscal responsibility, and we call it like we see it. So if you believe in American values and want the truth served hot, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it. Today we're breaking down the latest from none other than House Democrat Leader Hakeem Jeffries. He's been making the rounds with some bold accusations, warning the country about an unprecedented assault on Social Security, blaming who else? President Trump, Elon Musk, and House Republicans. Hakeem Jeffries saying Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and House Republicans think Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. There it is. Right out of the gate, pure political theater. Let me just say something as a proud American and a conservative. No one wants to take away people's Social Security benefits.
It is unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American that Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and House Republicans are dismantling and closing Social Security offices, jacking up wait times, and preventing hardworking Americans from securing their benefits. Our Save Social Security Day of Action will take place throughout America to raise awareness of the unprecedented assault against Social Security here in New York City and throughout the country, and to make clear that we are going to do everything possible to protect Social Security and strengthen Social Security so that the American people receive the earned benefit that they deserve. Questions?
Mr. Leader, I spoke to a couple of your Republican colleagues before I left Washington who criticized your position that Democrats are protecting Social Security, quote, as we know it. They say Social Security as we know it has a possibility of not being solvent in a few years, which is why they propose raising the retirement age, all of the other reforms that I'm sure you're well aware of. What's your response to Republicans? What's your response to Americans out there who are looking at some of these reforms and are concerned about the solvency of the program going forward?
Social Security is an incredibly solvent program right now. The Social Security Trust Fund has approximately $2.7 trillion. Social Security is under threat because of Republican attacks against it. Republicans believe that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. Project 2025 is a Ponzi scheme. And the fact that they are trying to manufacture this notion of widespread waste, fraud, and abuse is the tell as it relates to Republican efforts to dismantle Social Security as we know it.
And one more, if I can. There's reports that when you guys get back to Washington, that the Trump administration is going to send congressional Republicans a rescission package, foreign aid, NPR, public broadcasting. What's your response to those reports, and have Democrats had that discussion internally about how you all will respond to a potential rescissions package from the Trump administration?
We have not seen the rescission package or had the opportunity to have an engaged House Democratic Caucus conversation about it. We will have a House Democratic Caucus meeting virtually at some point within the next week or so, and a discussion on the rescission package will feature prominently in our meeting.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Just to be clear, are you concerned that Social Security is going to be privatized, even though they've said that they won't do that? What is your concern?
There's no reason to trust Donald Trump, Elon Musk, or House Republicans as it relates to Social Security. If they believe that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, then it is at risk of potentially being privatized. At the end of the day, Social Security offices throughout New York State are being closed. Wait times are skyrocketing, and people are being denied access to their hard-earned benefits. The Republican playbook has often been to demonize something in order to downsize something and ultimately try to privatize that very thing. We see that process unfolding before our eyes. Republicans are demonizing Social Security by calling it a Ponzi scheme. They are downsizing the ability of the Social Security Administration to provide earned benefits to New Yorkers and the American people, which leads to the ultimate conclusion that they may be trying to privatize it because that has been on their agenda in the past. Thank you, everyone.
And
Yeah.
before me switching gears on topics for a
Sure.
second, I just wanted to talk about the person who was deported from Maryland to El Salvador. I know that you've spoken about steps that you might be taking. I know that some lawmakers say that they might travel down there. What steps are you planning to take? Do you have any comments on it? The White Wing speak out later today. What comments do you have?
I support the efforts and leadership of Senator Chris Van Hollen, who is trying to meet with the president of El Salvador while he is here in the country. President should accept that meeting request and have a real discussion as to when Mr. Abrego Garcia is going to be returned to his family in the United States of America. The Supreme Court has made clear that Mr. Abrego Garcia should not have been deported. In fact, the Trump administration has acknowledged that fact. And so they need to comply with the Supreme Court's directive, or the Supreme Court needs to enforce its order aggressively, which should include contempt.
One more Social Security, if I can, this week. What's your position on eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits? Some independent estimates say it would cost over 1.4 to 1.6 trillion over the next decade. It's a promise that Trump made over the campaign trail. Some of your Republican colleagues are trying to figure out how to make the math work and reconciliation. What's your position on eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits?
It's a reasonable proposal to consider, but it has to be done in a bipartisan way. All right? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
That's a lie Democrats trot out every few election cycles to scare seniors and avoid having a serious, grown-up conversation about the future of this program. Jeffries claims we're dismantling Social Security by closing offices, jacking up wait times, and denying access. Really? That's what happens when government inefficiency meets Democrat mismanagement. You think these delays and closures just popped up under Republicans? Folks, have you tried dealing with the DMV or the post office lately? This is what happens when government grows bloated and unaccountable. And about calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme, listen, I won't sugarcoat it. The math doesn't lie. The current structure of Social Security isn't sustainable. When the program was created, there were over 40 workers for every retiree. Today, that ratio is closer to 2 or 3 to 1. That's not a Ponzi scheme. It's just bad economics. And yet, instead of admitting the need for structural reform, Jeffries wants to pretend everything's fine because there's $2.7 trillion in the trust fund. Sure, but at the rate we're going, that fund will start shrinking fast, and by 2033, benefits will be automatically cut by about 20% if nothing is done. That's not a Republican talking point. That's from the Social Security trustee's own report. So when we talk about raising the retirement age slightly because people are living longer and implementing common sense reforms, it's not to destroy the program. It's to save it. But Democrats hear reform and immediately scream privatization. Why? Because fear is their only strategy. And let's talk about Elon Musk. Why throw him into the mix, Jeffries? Because he dared to speak up about inefficiencies in the system. Because he believes in entrepreneurship and innovation. Last time I checked, he employs thousands of Americans and pays more taxes than almost anyone in the country. But sure, let's make him the villain. This entire press conference from Jeffries was nothing more than a smokescreen, a desperate attempt to deflect from the real issue. Democrats have no serious plan to keep Social Security solvent. All they've got is fear-mongering and finger-pointing, and let's not ignore the hypocrisy here. Jeffrey acts like Trump and Republicans are out to gut the system. But let me remind you, under President Trump, not one dime of Social Security benefits was cut. Not one. Meanwhile, what are Democrats doing? Pouring billions into foreign aid, NPR, and endless entitlement programs without proper oversight. You want to protect Social Security? Maybe stop spending our grandkids' future on pet projects and bureaucratic bloat. Here at Right View Nation, we believe in protecting what works and fixing what doesn't. Social Security is a promise, but promises are only worth something if we can actually keep them. That means being honest with the American people. That means making hard choices now to avoid disaster later. And if you think Republicans are the enemy because we believe in solvency, sustainability, and solutions, then you're not serious about governance. You're just campaigning. So let's cut through the noise. Don't buy the fear. Don't let them scare our seniors and shame our solutions. We love our country, we respect our workers, and we believe in earned benefits, but not fantasy economics. It's time for the grown-ups to step up. That's the conservative way. That's the American way. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Right View Nation, and share this with your friends and family who still believe in common sense and fiscal sanity. Until next time, stand tall, speak truth, and stay free.